But today, I think we just wanted to, engage with some of our current RISE members and any new potential people who are wanting to join, just to learn a bit more about RISE itself. So maybe I'll get going because it is Saturday and I'm not too sure if everyone's quite busy or they've got a lot going on. But just a little bit of a background about RISE-MICCAI is, once I get my cursor there, is that actually it was, yeah, hopefully I get these dates right because this was before my time joining Mikai. But in 2018, I think they noticed that in general there was kind of this underrepresentation from various countries, LMIC regions, and this then spurred, the debate and talk about how we can actually create kind of a Mikai committee that could help, bring in people that were underrepresented at Mika itself from these regions. And this is when RISE started. And RISE stands for Reinforcing Inclusiveness and Diversity and Empowering Mika in Low to Middle Income Countries. And the key kind of mission statement for RISE Mika is that we want to strengthen the presence of our minority researchers in these regions and also kind of foster this collaboration so that we can, bring these researchers up into the environment where they can get potential collaboration, but also showcase their abilities as well. So Rise Mikai, there's many different aspects to it, and I've spoken to some of the points, but the main thing is that we want to create this inclusive environment. We want to promote talent that we know that is around the world, but they just need this ability to access these kind of platforms where they can actually showcase their talent. And in particular, we're looking at the regions that include the low to middle income countries. And the idea is that if we have this kind of community and we have these kind of events, which you'll see now in the next few slides, is that we can create this really strong network of researchers, and then that can promote, potential, I think, better research because you'd actually have a more open mind. And you'll actually see what is happening in the world because often we find that sometimes in, these resource limited countries, they actually have very smart, innovative solutions that I myself come from South Africa, so I've seen that as well. And we actually have a very big community. A few are here today, and you'll hear from them as well. But as I mentioned, we have, for instance, Essence in charge. We have a few people involved in the industry as our industry liaisons to try, and you'll see later, I'll talk about some of the travel grounds. We have tutorial coordinators, our mentorship and workshop coordinators, our website coordinator, public outreach, storytelling coordinators, and you hear a lot more from everybody soon, and also general club coordinators. So they all help, bring together all of these events, and together we've enjoyed some nice meetings together and done a few different things that you'll see now. So just in terms of the RISE community numbers and who's signed up so far, maybe just to give you an overview, as I mentioned, it's the areas we focus are the low to middle income countries. So that's Africa, Latin America, Southeast Asia, and Middle East. And what we see is that these are kind of the latest numbers that we have. That you look on the left, you can see that from these demographics, you can see a lot, like 70% have not attended a MICA conference before. So they haven't yet been given the platform to showcase their talents. And that's, one of the main things that we also try to focus on. It seems fairly balanced, but I guess balance would be 50-50, right? So we can maybe have a few more females there. And in terms of ethnicity, you can see there's quite a diverse, population group that we have: Asians, African American, Indian, Middle East. So there's quite a lot. So with this diversity, we can see that there's still not as represented within our Mikaya community, and that's our biggest focus, as I had mentioned earlier. So maybe what we can do is show you a bit of what we're trying to do to increase the involvement, get everyone included into this RISE community so that we can, help them develop their talent as well as their research. So I guess the first speaker then would be Alvaro.
Thank you, Tarin. So, hello everyone. My name is Álvaro González Jiménez. I'm Mickey Rice board member from the Journal Club coordinator, together with my colleague Pulkit. And the goal of the Journal Club is basically to bring expertise either for senior researcher or even young researchers who want to present their work to the community. We do this every 2 Saturdays at 4 p.m. as is indicated here. You can pass it in, I can explain some of the numbers. Um, the idea is, to, as I mentioned, to discuss high quality papers in machine learning and computer vision that can be good for the community. We had so far since spring 2023, 54 Fortnite sessions. We have invited moderators from the MICCAI Society, as I mentioned, senior researchers, and also not that senior researchers to join and present their work. We have attendees from different countries, as this is the main goal of the MICCAI RISE. And during the journal club session, young researcher engage. So we have 45 minutes in which they describe the paper, they present their work, and then later we have a session for discussing the paper. If we have several questions, and we engage with the researcher, which is extremely valuable. For those who want to present their work, we are actually seeking for volunteers. We have also a special session on the 3rd of February with a program committee of the MICCAI Society to discuss the paper submission and the guidelines for this year for MICCAI 2026. And all the sessions, if you are not able to attend, they are recorded in the YouTube channel, and you can see those over there. And that's all from my side. If you have any questions, you can write it down in the Q&A section, and I will be answering all of those. And if you want to join us in the journal club and present your work, you can send me an email or send an email to the MICCAI RISE, and we can organize a journal club together. So thank you, Terrain. I
Thank you,
pass it to.
Ryan. Yeah, I think I pass it on to Joey next.
Yeah. So another activity from the RISE-MICCAI is we preparing the winter and summer school. And unfortunately, I mean, I'm Joy, and then I'm actually the website coordinator, but usually winter summer school is currently coordinated by David and Bauru. So I think the first winter school is happening actually 3 years ago. And usually, I mean, sometimes it's collaborate with the other interest group, like this time with Africa AI, and that happened 3 years ago. And usually it's with some tutorial and lab session. We trying to be very interactive. The next slide, please. And this is the V5 Fair Federal AI Summer School. And personally, it was my first time to participate from the RISE-MICCAI. And I also joined the Kaggle session. And yeah, so this is also like coordinate with the interest group to seek find me. And then it's targeting the contents wise, it's targeting for the fair federate in medical imaging. So there was some lectures and some tutorial, and then the later people participate the challenge in the Kaggle, and there's some time, and then there's a bit celebration in the end. Yeah. So and then the next slide. So this is happening the last year, the summer, and this was actually quite big. The summer school is happening for a whole week from the day 1 to the day 5. And as you can see, the president of the RISE-MICCAI Esther is also starting the beginning the session, and there was also Marius, yeah, and yeah, so and there also like yeah, there's a lot of the contents happening there in last year, the summer school, and also this all session was recorded and then was uploading in a separate website. And then the next slide, please. Yeah, so this is what's
That's nice.
happening. Yeah, so what's happened whole week, and then time-wise from the 2 p.m. to 7 p.m. and was fully online. And then there's no cost, but we should register. So the people who actually motivate, they're going to be joined. So we got more than 1,300 registration. And then, yeah, we're trying to reach out so people actually can easily follow up from this 86 low middle income countries, and also we hosting the Lisa challenge, and then there's also like in area we trying to make some offline to local hubs so people can meet in person and can work on some challenged project together. And then we also hosting some mentorship program will be introduced a bit later. And then, yeah, as I mentioned, all the session is available in our YouTube channel. Yeah, so this is which we host in the local hub where people can actually go in offline. Yeah, and then next slide. And this is the recent winter school, and but it's mainly hosted by the MJU AI, but we work with them together, and then we trying to promote the event is available, and then this is also the content-wise also is very aligned with the MICCAI 2026. Yeah, and the
I guess,
next,
yeah.
Omar can
Yes,
take over.
thanks, Sherry.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, as Joey mentioned, we have a mentorship program. So one of the ideas about the Sum School is that we wanted to prepare and to provide as much expertise from people leading researchers within the field to those who are interested in getting involved, potentially submitting a paper at MICCAI. But we understood that it was important that if we could actually create some collaboration. So the goal was to pair mentors with mentees who would be able to meet with each other maybe once a week, once every 2 weeks, or once a month, depending on their availability, but with the goal of submitting a paper to MICCAI. And so we have about 45 pairings in total. Mentees are from all different low and middle income countries. And of course, the mentors have come from usually having had many different papers already accepted into MICCAI, the main conference, as well as different leading journals. And so hopefully we'll be able to talk about the results later on in the year to see how successful this has been. And we will be running this again later on this year for 2027. Thank you.
Oh, and it's back to me.
Yes.
It's about the RISE. We also call it tutorial, and so this is more focused on the actual hands-on experience, and then currently led by Rachid. And yeah, so this is targeting focus on the computer vision and medical image analysis domain. And we provide some open source book, practically some Jupyter notebooks, so can actually, yeah, you can, first of all, it's beginning with some theoretical background, but in the end, it's with some more hands-on the experience targeting to understand the real world application. Yes, and then they try to coordinate twice in every year, and then we already observed like the attendees from the 50 different con countries, and 50 actually the attendees from the different continent, including all the Africa, Latin America, and Southeast Asia. Yeah, so you can easily join just scanning of this QR code or visiting our repository on the RISE-MICCAI.
I guess, Pooja,
Yeah,
over
next
to
is
you.
Pooja. Yeah.
Hello everyone, I'm Dr. Pooja, and I am part of the storytelling team along with my colleagues Nina and Santosh. And we just started with this new podcast called Voices of Rise Mikai. So the main idea is going with the spirit of Rise. We want to throw some light on very inspiring stories from a lot of LMIC countries. So we wanted to interview such people, understand their journey, see how that can inspire more people from a lot of developing countries. And we have like two very interesting episodes so far. And the first one is by Dr. Andrea, and all three of us from the storytelling team are on that. It's a very wonderful episode because we talk about how she established the very first biomedical engineering program in Guatemala. And the second episode is with Dr. Islam, who was, of course, the founder and ex-president of RISE. So there is a lot to hear from her in that episode. So both the episodes are available on Spotify and on YouTube. And I have the links on the slide, but I'll put it on the chat as well for everyone here in the session. And we are always looking for talking with more people from the developing countries. So if anyone has any suggestions, they can also put that in the chat window. That'll be great. It can be students, it can be professors, it can be anyone who has a very interesting story and who is willing to talk to us on the podcast. So just to give a small trailer of what it is, we have a short clip. This is for the first episode with Dr. Angela.
I hope it plays properly from my side, but it should.
Hopefully it does, yeah.
Mhm. Can you hear it?
No.
No. I think it could be because if it's probably coming into my earphone and not everyone else's. So
Okay.
I could see that's something I didn't think about. Hmm. See if there's any other way to change. I guess I'm just gonna try something, and if it doesn't work, then maybe we'll try it another way. I'm gonna just put it onto my system. Yeah, I think if I share it on the system, then it might share through the. I'm just gonna try that quickly. But if it doesn't, then fortunately, that is my fault. Now, do you hear it? Still not?
No. I think you have to reshare the screen. That's what.
From my one? Yeah, let's see. Yeah, I'll try that again.
No, like you can stop sharing and share it again with giving
let's see if it
access to
does.
audio.
Yeah, let's see if that works. Yeah, there we go. Share sound. Okay, that should work now. Okay, so it's a bit slow. Okay, well now it wants my password, which I have to remember. 1 second. Okay, it worked. Okay, so let's try this again. Third time lucky, they say.
I grew up in Tunisia, so originally I am from
Yes,
North
I can
Africa.
hear.
So I did my undergrad in Paris for 3 years, master at École Normale Supérieure. So that was the first time, actually, I was exposed to machine learning. Actually, and it was highly theoretical. I remember when I took a reinforcement learning, module, it was all math. I got my first MICCAI paper in 2015. I got an oral presentation. I was actually overly joyed because, first time I give an oral presentation in a big conference. I remember when I went to MICCAI in Granada, they usually display the charts of the, the accepted papers, and all continents were there, and Africa was not there. And I was like, oh my God, Africa is not there. And I was like, a whole continent is not there. The career trajectory is filled with transitions, it's dips. So you have dips and then you rise, and you dip and you rise again. I think sometimes it is okay to feel okay when you are at that low. You need to accept yourself. So even when you lose trust, you need to say, it's okay that I'm not trusting. Yeah, it's okay that I'm not having hope now. It's okay. I accept myself.
I think that was we went to the second one, but not the first one. So let's just let's go to the first one. I'll play that one.
My journey has been interesting, and since I was in high school, I knew I want to study biomedical engineering, but that did not exist in Guatemala. This program didn't exist, so I knocked doors to ask them like, okay, we are starting this program, we want to collaborate, we want to do research, and I got a lot of rejections. I was like crying. Like last year, we had the CIPAIM, which is a conference from Latin America related to biomedical engineering and also to medical imaging. And they got the opportunity to present their work. And that, like for me, it was like so rewarding because I got to see like, okay, all this work that I had been done, I felt like a mom, like seeing my son. Like,
What is your best MICCAI memory?
gala dinner, and we were like, yeah, just having fun with
Paper rejection or grant rejection, which stings more?
let's say grant.
What does RISE mean to you, and what is one line you would like to leave our audience with?
It's about community. So creating community and working together and really help each other.
One part of your work that you absolutely hate.
We'll have to leave that as a teaser then, what she hates. I think Pooja, there was that slide, and then I guess that was So I don't know if there's anything.
So as a website coordinator, I mean with Andrea, we also trying to reach out to you. So we redesigned our website last year. That was my first work, and we also opening the Slack channel. So this is what you see here. We put all the latest news updates in the Slack channel, and the most important stuff I also updating in our website. And we also create a new official LinkedIn account. And so through the LinkedIn, please follow us. Then you're gonna see the latest news there. Yeah, and the next Uduna gonna talk about.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Yeah.
Thanks, Jo.
Thank you. Good morning. My name is Vidana Anazoda. So I'm just going to talk about a new, collaboration we're doing with MICCAI and through RISE. And so this is CAMERA. CAMERA is a consortium for advancement of MRI education and research in Africa. And this was founded in 2019 as a working group of a European MRI society. It's called ESMRB, so that's European Society for Magnetic Resonance in Medicine and Biology. And the main goal was to essentially figure out kind of what RISE is doing with medical imaging and AI, what we can do with MRI in general, and to get that technology working in the sense that having a lot of people that do have equipment in Africa, but not able to know how to use it, to figure out how we can train a critical mass of people on how to use it for research and also for clinical applications. So we've been working for the past 5 years actively across, and you can see the map up there, our global footprint across Africa, which is where we started. We've expanded massively into Latin America and also into Southeast Asia with a lot of training programs. One of those training programs is what we call Spark, which is an AI medical imaging training program. And that's where we intersect with MICCAI and through RISE. We've also started to run workshops at MICCAI. The first workshop was in 2024 at Marrakesh when we were in Morocco. And because we were in Africa, there's a lot of focus and emphasis in being able to draw as many communities that use imaging, so like MRI, into MICCAI. So we ran the Africa at that particular point, it wasn't a SIG, but we ran two workshops actually. We ran one MICCAI Meets Africa. And we also ran the Intro to Africa I guess, at MICCAI. And so through those workshops, there was a lot of interest in continuing to do workshops at MICCAI. And so we created a new workshop in South Korea called Mirasol, which is medical image computing in resource-constrained settings. And we also added a knowledge exchange, which is like a speed dating for graduate students and early career researchers that want to come in and meet PIs, typically PIs from the global north, but also PIs that are emerging from Latin America, like Lara, for example, or Islam, to meet them there and exchange ideas and kind of get a bit of more networking, FaceTime one-on-one at MICCAI. And so we are hoping that the meeting in Abu Dhabi in this year, that we could actually have this joint RISE-MICCAI Marisol workshop, and that's what we're excited, and we're hoping that we'll continue to do that with MICCAI. Next slide, please. So we have a new initiative that we're also collaborating with RISE, and this is essentially trying to bring the two communities together. So the communities that do a lot of imaging, MRI in particular, and even more recently, there's interest to expand this to pets, because pets is becoming quite of interest. There's a lot of pet centers coming up in Africa, but for now, we're focusing on MRI. So what we're trying to do now is to find those communities. A lot of our membership, we have about 1,000, I think was it, last time we checked, it was 1,008 people that we've trained through our various programs in Africa. We're trying to bring those communities together, especially a lot of them are interested in AI because radiology in Africa, a lot of these radiologists really want to know what AI is and how to apply it to clinical practice. We want to bring those two communities together by sort of helping us help them find themselves, for lack of a better word. So we're creating this Camera and RISE collaborative map. This is a map that is very easy to complete. It's a very simple Google form. We're going to have the link on the RISE website very soon. And so that anybody that is working in RISE, don't have to be from Africa, but if you want to join us in growing this global community that expands beyond Africa, linking each other together, the idea here is that you'll be able to know what you're doing. So you have a short bio that sort of tells you what you're doing, what your interest is. And if people have the same interest, they could just reach out to each other and start the collaboration so we can grow our global community a lot better. So stay tuned. I think more of that information will come out from RISE itself, and it'll be on the RISE website.
Perfect. Thanks so much, Judina, for joining. I think we have a few more slides to go. And just continuing to tell you a bit more about the events at MICCAI. But usually every year at the MICCAI conference, we kind of have a slot that's usually done over lunchtime. And here we invite some of, the researchers, whether they're quite established in their work, but kind of to explain their background. So often they come from LMIC countries and they talk about their journey, and now they're quite high ranking within the community. But I believe in 2022 when they had it, I still wasn't yet part of the official community because I think it's still at that stage. I didn't have enough funding to attend MICCAI, but you can see, for instance, here they were talking about building intelligence into existing systems. So this is where you're trying to promote, what's been done in Africa in terms of Zambia, and then looking at the cervical cancer prevention example. But they also talk a bit about his journey. So that's kind of when you can bring in the community, kind of inspire those as well to show you what you can be capable of. And then I think in 2023, they also had two talks. Actually, usually we have one, but this year there are two. And here, I think this was more pertaining to, when COVID was around, so we're talking about things just in terms of arising from pandemics, as well as I think GADA now, who's also quite a big part of FEMI, which is another organization in MICCAI, but they both came to talk about their journey, and I think they also tried to talk to you about how you yourself can progress as a researcher and, not to be so constrained from where you come from. There are these various avenues that you can leverage off. And it's a great time as well in these events where you can network and meet a lot of people. In 2024, I remember this one specifically because it was after this that I joined RISE, but it was Professor Nazir Nawab, and it was very interesting to hear his whole journey. I mean, he was very engaging talk, which I think they always have every year. But he spoke about the fact of moving from as an immigrant into now he's in Germany and one of the leading professors in his environment. But it was kind of a very humbling story to hear about his journey and about all the people he meets along the way. And what you can do is when you start collaborating, start meeting people, and you start through things like RISE-MICCAI as well as workshops, for instance, like Mirasol, that you can actually engage with the community and you can actually pursue your interest in academia as well. And last year it was quite exciting for me because this was a talk done by Professor Tinashe, and he was my supervisor in South Africa. It was very nice to see him again after a long time, but also so that more people could learn about his journey as well. And it was a very inspiring talk to where he is today and from, where he started, but his passion and just along the way, how the collaborations and how that engagement and various, kind of pathways that you take, you actually can, land up to be one of these really well-established researchers in your environment. And then, unfortunately, both Charles and Rabia couldn't make it today, but I'll just talk to the slide that they put together about travel grants. So what we also try to do as RISE-MICCAI is, get some funding so that when you do have, some researchers that can't actually travel to these events, we try and create these opportunities to raise funds for them. So here he mentions that in Rabia, and he mentioned that in 2023 and 2026, they initially we're looking at say 3,000 US dollars a year for funding, but they've actually have up to 60,000 now. And this was what they specifically want to use for engaging with LMIC researchers. I guess there's a sad face there on the first thing about how they've awarded these grants, that even though sometimes they can award grants, for instance, when it's in a country like Canada, it has been a little bit harder for some of our researchers to actually get a visa. So in that case, there was only one. But I think in that particular year, there was a bit of a backlog of maybe a year in general for those visas. But as we progress, I think they're trying to, we have those funds and we have the ability to give these grants. So they're trying to find ways in which we can actually help these researchers make it to the conference. And I think this is what led them to actually form more of a part or role on the MICCAI Travel Grant Committee itself. So RISE having a presence there actually makes a difference because then you have some representation from LMIC and the fact that there should be, more interest or more ways in which we can help these researchers come to these conferences. And I guess maybe that goes to some of my last slides. And that's kind of what we're working on in the year ahead. And I think Omar spoke about it, but in terms of, was it Omar or Joey? I think both of the two was talking about mentorship, but that's more to do after we had our summer school, and it led to this mentorship to try and actually help, researchers to bring their paper to MICCAI this year. And I believe it's still going as planned, but I hopefully then we can see some of them at MICCAI this year. And then I think earlier as well, when we spoke about journals, is that we want to continue these bi-weekly journal club sessions. And I think they've had really good turnouts, as well as tutorials. So continue to host the monthly tutorials. And I think it's also really important, especially if you're master's students and PhD students, and there's some topic that you're really interested in, but maybe, you don't have the ability to get direct engagement with that field, but you want to, improve in those areas. It's a very nice way for you to come always and watch some of the videos as well. And then the storytelling, which once you got the audio working, you saw it was very, very interesting because I think you also get to see, how people have progressed, that it's maybe not an easy path, but there are ways in which you can progress and you can pursue your research, especially when you dedicated. And I think you can see even through RISE-MICCAI and the various platforms, you can actually engage and we can see how to make, bring you up in terms of your talent. And then, yes, I guess another event this year is that we should have another lunch event. At the moment, it'll be a nice surprise. I'm sure we always have some nice speakers, but it's a very nice opportunity to engage and meet people. I'm not sure if most of our committee will be there, but I'm sure there'll be some representation from our committee to meet you there as well. Yeah, actually, we finished a little bit earlier than expected, but I guess that's okay for a Saturday. But as we always say, we're always looking for you to join a committee. I mean, there's a QR code here, but even if you go to our RISE-MICCAI website, there's explanation how you can join. It's a very nice, open community. I think everyone's warm and welcoming, and hopefully we've made you enjoy some of the things that we've shared today. And, we're also always looking, I think Pooja also mentioned, looking for people to join to help. It's nice to have people from all different areas. I think it builds a very nice, diverse community. So I guess hopefully I've done a good enough job with Esther not being here, but I'd like to thank you a lot for your time today. And I guess if you have a question, you can pop it into the chat. There's about 16 attendees, but if you don't have anything burning, we're potentially looking at just sending out kind of a post attendance form just to find out, maybe you can think about there's some idea that you have, maybe you want to get involved, or you've been to tutorial sessions and you have suggestion, maybe you have someone to for Pujan and talk to from storytelling perspective. I mean, there's lots you can definitely engage with us. So I'll see if there's anything that comes through. I guess Pooja's given some nice links so you can listen to the entire talk. So if you're on a train and it's quite a long journey, that's actually something nice to listen to. But yeah, I don't know, Pooja, Joey, Omar, if there's Uduna, if there's anything else you want to add, or you happy? You're gonna go for some tea or breakfast in Uduna's case, and Diana. Otherwise, I think no questions. I think people were that impressed, so then we probably just expect a lot of signups and a lot of registrations into RISE now. But yeah, I think that if there's nothing else, I'd like to thank you for your time. Oh, there is one question. Sorry, that is because I cannot see. Let's see. Can anyone else see the question? For some reason, I cannot.
It says, I do have a project I would love to share at the Journal Club, but this is my first time here.
Ah, well, okay. I guess that's totally fine. I think you can contact it's Alvaro, right? Yeah, they're in charge of the Alvaro, or I will get confused. But you can definitely contact them directly. And then maybe the nice thing is also just to sign up so that you also have that communication line open when you see what's actually happening. But I think you can contact them directly. They'll be more than happy to have you on board if I've answered that well enough. I don't know if anyone else has anything else to answer on that, but if not, I think that's fine. And it's also fine that it's your first time. Hopefully, it's the first of many. So that's totally fine. But yeah, thank you. I think that concludes. If no one has anything else to say, thank you. See you.